Hello, everyone, and welcome to Navigating the Future of Trucking and Transportation with me, your host, Jerri Banks. On this show, we talk about all things automation, all things autonomy or self driving, new technology entering into the trucking and transportation industry. And we also talk about traditional jobs. You're going to hear me say traditional truck driving jobs, but you're going to hear me share jobs in the autonomous sector. And these are jobs in the self driving sector where you can take your current skills and combine them with new skills that you learn and be a game changer for someone's company. And then lastly, on the learning lane is where it's probably my favorite part of the show, but it's where I share actionable tips and tools and things that you can use to take, your and put them in your toolbox and take them and be a game changer for someone's company, for your business, for yourself, for your career. I'm so excited that you're here. If you're new here, do me a favor and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you turn on the notifications so that you never miss an opportunity when I go live. I'm Miss Jerri. I am the owner and founder of Life on the Road Recruiting and Transportation Services. We are a full service third party truck driver recruitment agency and education agency. So we do both. We don't just recruit you and put you with a company, but we also educate you on, different things in the industry, how to enter the industry, how to move in the industry, and different truck driving jobs and questions you should ask recruiters, like all the things. So there's so much to learn here. So much that we do. Today's show is full of information. The reason why you're here is because you're here to learn. You're here to continue your education and knowledge in the industry that pays your bills, right? And so on today's show, I'm going to be talking about and sharing new, just released, hot off the press just yesterday, a partnership in the oil field. So if you worked in the oil field, if you've hauled sand before, I want you to stick around because I'm about to share some interesting news of what's going on in the oil field on the sand side and hauling sand. So stick around. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to share Waymo and their driverless taxi ride in the city of San Francisco and what's the new launch is there for Waymo. Waymo is owned by Google and they are a self-driving technology company. So I'm going to talk about them. In addition, I'm going to share a traditional truck driving job. There is a position that we have open in Texas, in the state of Texas, the state of New York, and the other state was Indiana. It is for tanker. Not tanker, I'm sorry. It is an oversized, overdimensional, overweight hauling of freight across the U.S. I'm going to share this position with you. It's a great position. It's hourly pay, and that's what a lot of drivers don't typically get is hourly pay plus overtime time and a half. So drivers aren't typically used to getting that. So I want to talk about that job. Make sure you stick around. And if you have that oversized, overdimensional experience, I want to make sure that you are tapped into that position because it's a great position. And then lastly, on the learning lane, I'm going to talk about communication and your communication skills and how they're going to be important as we move into the future of trucking and transportation. So without further ado, when we come back, I'm going to go right into that sand hauling in the oil field. Let's go.
I'm Jerri Banks. Our agency focuses on driver recruitment and driver education. We focus on helping drivers and preparing them for the future of trucking and transportation as autonomous vehicles and automation enters the industry. Our goal is to ensure that you are equipped with the skills that you need to be successful in this new way of life. So make sure you connect with me across all of my platforms. Jerri Banks, Autonomous Trucking. I look forward to connecting with you.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Look, thank you so much for being here. I am here every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, sharing news, sharing information, sharing the latest industry news in our industry. I feed my family off of the trucking, transportation, and aviation industry. And if you're here, it's probably because you feed your family off of this industry as well. And so it's important that you know exactly what's going on. And before I move any further into the industry, I want to say hello to all of my family and friends over there on TikTok. Hello, everybody. Make sure if you are not following me, make sure you tap in and follow me over there across all of my platforms. Make sure you are tapped in and connected with me and following me. Hello, Monique. Hello, Evelyn. Hello, Nikki. How are y'all doing? Look, the folks, the family is over on TikTok and they are just tapped in. And I was just telling them, it's same as I'm telling you, if you feed your family off of transportation, trucking, aviation, you need to be here because I'm sharing information. I'm sharing gems. I'm sharing knowledge that you need to know about, whether it is a traditional trucking job, whether it is news, whether it is a webinar. I talked about a webinar yesterday that the Department of Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, he spoke at. He did a fireside chat. I attended that. A lot of really good information, but it talked about the different trends, the different risks, what we're seeing in the trucking and transportation industry. Are we going to come out of this downturn, this down cycle that we're in? And I am so excited because it looks like we're on the up and up. We're about to get out of this downturn, and it looks like things are coming back and turning around. We're seeing a turnaround from a recruitment agency perspective, simply because we're seeing more jobs. We have so many jobs that we're filling as a recruitment agency. And I'm going to be talking about a new one, a brand new one, hot off the press just yesterday that came across. I'm going to be talking about that in one of the upcoming segments. So make sure you stick around for that as well. Now, what I want to share with you right now, this is an oil field opportunity. Well, this is what we're seeing in the oil field. So Kodiak Robotics, who is based in they have offices in Mountain View, California, but their operation is in the Dallas, Texas area. And so all over Texas, right? Y'all know Texas is the place where self-driving is happening. It is testing, deploying on the roads. You might be driving next to it and you just don't know. Thank you so much, love, for liking the live. But Texas is the place. One, because the regulatory environment is friendly. The government works very closely with the self-driving technology companies. The emergency responders work very closely with them. So many entities and agencies are working closely with them to propel and accelerate the self-driving technology on the roadways. And when I say autonomous or self-driving, those are essentially the same thing. Autonomous, self-driving is exactly the same thing, meaning that it drives by itself. And so a lot of us we only know, and you can drop it in the comments, we only know Tesla, right? And when we think of self-driving, we automatically think of Tesla. But I want you to think of these other companies because there's so many more. There is the one I'm talking about this morning, Kodiak. There's Aurora. I talked about them yesterday. There's Wavy. There's Torque Robotics. There's Gatic. There's so many other self-driving companies that have their technology and they're putting them in semi-trucks. They're putting them in cars. They're putting them in trucks. They're putting them in taxis. And so this is where we're going. This is where the nation is going in the world, actually, because there are a couple of countries, China, particularly, that's a little bit further ahead of us. But this is where, from a global perspective, the self-driving technology is moving, and it's moving faster. It's moving so fast. faster than you can even imagine. And that's why I'm glad you're here, because I want to be able to share this information with you and show you exactly what's going on. So I'm talking about Kodiak. Kodiak is based out of Dallas. They currently have lanes between Houston and Dallas. They have lanes between Dallas and Atlanta, Georgia, Dallas, and a couple of other different places out of Dallas. That's where their operation is. Now, Kodiak currently has a safety driver in their operation, but they're removing the safety driver. That's their end goal for the end of this year, 2024, going into 25. They're removing the safety driver from the truck. Now, they also have, and I like their business model. As a business owner, I like the way, the CEO thinks, because what he's done is he's gone out and established partnerships with a lot of different entities across the US, so that they can have they're building their footprint. Basically, they're building their footprint across the US, so that they have little, what they call them is they call them hubs. They either call them hubs or terminals, and so I'll let you know exactly what they call them. They have one in Villarica, Georgia, and it is a partnership that they have with between Kodiak Robotics and Pilot. We all know Pilot. When we go on road trips, well, I'm not a truck driver, so when I go on a road trip, I stop at the Pilot. My husband, when I ride with him, he has a load. We go to Miami a lot because he delivers a lot in Miami. So we stop at the Pilot Flying J's. And so they're calling them a truck port. That's what it is, y'all. My memory be going in and out. They call them truck ports. And so they have a partnership with Pilot Flying J. This self-driving technology company has a partnership with Pilot Flying J that they opened way last August. You didn't even know it. But it's in Villarica, Georgia. And it's set up so that they can build their autonomous or self-driving deployment network, so that they can build their network along routes across the United States. So look it up. Look it up. It's out there. Kodiak Robotics, Pilot Flying J, or Pilot Company, has a truck port outside of Atlanta in Villarica, Georgia. Again, they call theirs truck ports. Some of those companies call them hubs. Some of them call them terminals, but it's all the same. It's a place where the self-driving truck can come and get gassed up. It can come, or charge if it's electric, or it can come and drop off that trailer that it brought, which somebody has to unhook the trailer, somebody has to fuel it, somebody has to do the pre-trip inspection. So that's where all of those things are going to happen, at their truck port. Or Aurora, I think they call them terminals, and Torque Robotics, they call them hubs. So they all got different names for them, but you do the same thing at them. You do the pre-trip, you shuttle trailers around, you fuel it and refuel it, you do any routine maintenance, you fuel it. Like, all of those things are done at the truck port. And if you live in Georgia, I want you to tap in and let me know if you have been to that Pilot Flying J at Villarica, Georgia. Again, it's in Villarica, Georgia, and that truck port positioned them on the East Coast as one of the first self-driving truck ports on the East Coast. One of the first self-driving truck ports on the East Coast. So I'm building up to get somewhere, okay? Because I'm going to the oil field. But first, I want to I got to lay the foundation to let you know how this company is moving and how quickly they are moving with their self-driving technology. The next thing that they did is they established a partnership with Ryder. And so we all know Ryder. That is the company who does who does like roadside assistance, maintenance, different things like that. We know Ryder is all over the United States. And so that's why I said earlier, I like their vision, because their vision is to connect with already existing entities to help build their network, right? So when a truck needs to go and stops in their truck port, they have the truck port at Ryder in Houston, Texas. So the Ryder truck port is in Houston, Texas. And so they have lanes already between Houston and Dallas. This self-driving company named Kodiak Robotics, Kodiak Robotics, look them up. Look up partnership between Kodiak and Ryder. And they have a partnership between Houston and Dallas and Houston and Oklahoma City. And so right now there is a safety driver in the truck, but their goal is to eventually remove that safety driver from a long-term perspective. And so again, this information is being shared with you so that you are knowledgeable and up to date on everything that's going on in your industry. And if you're like me and you feed your family off of this industry, you need to know what you need to be preparing for. You need to know whether you need to pivot, and maybe that pivot is still in driving, because these trucks we're not going to see a light switch turn on and all of a sudden we see all these self-driving trucks out there. That's not going to happen. But it's going to be a slow integration, and we already see the foundation that's being laid, right? Like it's like a house being built. Like you put the foundation down first, and then you add the bricks, brick by brick by brick, you build the house. And so that is what is being done in the self-driving industry when it comes to trucking. They're laying the foundation. They're building those partnerships. They're building those relationships with all of some of the top companies out there. You got Ryder, you got Pilot. And so for me, it's going very quickly. I see it happening very quickly. Am I a fan? I cannot say that I'm a huge fan. I can say that I will continue to stay knowledgeable. I will continue to level and educate myself on exactly what's happening, because I have family in this industry. My son is a truck driver. All y'all know that my son is a truck driver, so he can't get left behind. And so my goal is to continue to inform you so that you don't get left behind. And that's so very important for me. So as I move on, I talked about Ryder, I talked about Pilot. Now let's talk about a partnership that they have in the oil field. So if you are in the oil field, and a couple years ago, we had a company who was hiring a lot of drivers in the oil field. So we were sending drivers out there, and they were doing really, really good, hauling sand. So they move sand all day, 24 hours a day, in the oil field. So we don't have any oil field jobs now, but periodically we'll get a sand hauling job every now and then to be able to fill. Well, I want to share with you, first I'll share a video, because it's a 19-second video, and let me turn my camera around so my friends on TikTok can actually see this video and see what's going on, because I want to make sure that you guys see this. All right, so hey TikTok, this is the screen. This is how it looks. This is the behind the scenes. You get to see everything behind the scenes. Y'all can tell y'all my favorite over there on TikTok. Y'all get to see it. Look, y'all see Sarah down there. Wave, Sarah. Sarah down there, that's my producer. She's doing such an amazing job. All right, so I'm going to show this video because I want TikTok to be able to see this as well. So let me share with you. This is a video that courtesy of Kodiak Robotics and their new partnership with a company called Atlas Energy Solutions in the oil field. So that is what it is. Is it is a partnership between Atlas Energy Solutions and Kodiak Robotics. And basically, it's Kodiak and Atlas are working together to commercialize, which means to bring it to the forefront, and to commercially deliver sand. In this instance, it's sand, frac sand across West Texas in the Permian Basin. And so they just announced this on Tuesday. So 2 days ago, they announced this, and they are. And so here's the thing with these self-driving companies: they don't own trucks. Most of them, the majority of them, don't own trucks. They own the technology. They own the software. And so they're putting their software into these Atlas trucks, Atlas Energy Solutions, equipping it with their technology. So that they can operate 24/7 for this energy company in the oil field. And so this is huge. This is huge because when you think about the oil field, right? Think about the oil field. So the oil field is typically in the middle of nowhere. It's typically in the middle of nowhere. It's dirt. We saw it on the video. It's dirt roads. It is, there's just nothing out there. No cars on the road, and so they've already started doing. So let's take this and let's unpack this. They are on the actual roadways. There's still a safety driver in the truck. They're already doing the frac sand delivery. They've already made deliveries without a driver in them. They made 21-mile delivery from the Atlas Depot to a well site. Um, and so that's what they released on Tuesday. They're already starting to deliver without the driver in the truck delivering and hauling the frac sand. Now, when you think about it, that's probably the best testing areas because there's nobody out there. There's nobody in the middle of, in the middle of the oil field. There's nobody. I mean, if you worked in the oil field, if you've been out there at any point in time, there's nobody. You're just sitting there waiting for the truck to come so you can unload the truck, so you can take the sand off, hook the hoses up, and all of that. And so it says it's on private leased roads with the average traffic speeds are under 20 miles an hour. Still create challenges, of course, because they got dust storms out there that impacts visibility as well as heat for people. But for the autonomous trucks, they're able to navigate in those harsh conditions. Because think about it, Kodiak also partners with the Department of Defense and the military for off-road driving, and they equip their software and their technology in trucks, in military vehicles, for off-road and harsh weather conditions, to be able to still go into the places that they need to go into. And so this was probably one of the smartest things that they did, was go out there in the oil field where, there's dust storms, there's heat, there's visibility challenges, there's harsh conditions, but they put their technology in there, where with the sensors and the lidar and the radars and all the things on the truck, where it can still be able to navigate on that road. This is game changing. This is game changing. And so they say they're in the article. This article was released by Trucking Dive. It says their partnership with Atlas will make them the first self-driving semi-truck company to establish a commercial driverless operation, and the first company to make autonomous trucking a real business. Let me say that again for those of you in the back that didn't hear that. Kodiak's partnership with Atlas is going to make them the first self-driving semi-truck company to establish a commercial partnership and a commercial operation, making autonomous trucking a real business. Data number one. And so there are other companies that are pushing boundaries, like Einride is doing driverless trucks in Tennessee. Gaddick is doing they have box trucks, so they doing self-driving box truck in Northwest Arkansas, in the Dallas, Texas area, in Toronto. They're doing it there as well. And so a lot of these self-driving companies are making strides. They're making strides. And so what I share this because there's so much speculation of it not happening. Is happening. And they don't care whether you like it or not. Is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter whether you like it or not. Um, it's important that you know. It's important that you prepare, and it's important that you get your skills up. And so that's why I always talk about getting those endorsements for some of those more difficult, like the job I'm about to talk about right now. Can't no self-driving truck, and that's the Texas coming out of me. Self-driving truck do the oversized, overweight, overdimensional operation. There's so many variables and complexities that go into it that can't happen. That won't happen in any time soon. Um, and so I want to make sure that you have your endorsements. I want to make sure all of them. Go get them all. Doubles, triples, hazmat, tanker. Get them all. I need to ensure that you have that. I need to ensure that you have a TWIC card. I don't care if you work by a port. You never know when you need to use that TWIC card. For high school graduation, for y'all know I have 5 boys, right? And for high school graduation, their graduation gift, all of them. I don't care if you're going to college. I have one that's going to school. He starts in August, pilot school. He gonna fly up airplanes. I don't care. Everybody get a TWIC card for graduation because and it's a 10-year card. Why not get it? Everybody gets a TWIC card. Congratulations, you graduated. Here go a TWIC card. You going to college? Here go a TWIC card. You getting your certification? You getting your Class A CDL? Here go a TWIC card. Everybody gets a TWIC card because that is going to help you at some point. You'll never go hungry if you have a TWIC card. My daddy used to say, "You'll never go hungry if you own a truck." And he owned F-150s. That's all he ever had my entire life was F-150s. And he would always say, "Hey, look, you never go hungry if you have a truck because you can haul something, you can move something, you can fix something, you can carry something away for somebody. You need a truck." And so all my life I've had a truck just because my daddy said I need a truck. And it's always been an F-150, y'all. But yes, thank y'all so much for sharing the live. Thank y'all for being here, for liking the live. Rika Taylor, I see you sharing the live. Monique, I see you on. Thank y'all so much. I know this is information that is beneficial for somebody. And the reason why I know it's information that's beneficial for somebody, because my 5 sons say that it's beneficial. And they are the ones that encouraged and inspired me to start this show because all of them are in transportation in some form or fashion. They under the Department of Transportation in some way, whether it is working at the airport, whether it is going to pilot school, whether it is warehouse and logistics, whether it is truck driving. And so if that information is valuable and can help them because they watch the show every day, then that information is valuable and can help somebody else's son and can elevate somebody else's son so that you're prepared, so that you know how to pivot, so that you get the credentials and the skills that you need in order to be able to elevate and prepare for the future of trucking and transportation. And so some of the things that I share and talk about is if you have a CDL, and this is what I always tell my son, and actually he is starting in the fall. Okay, he is starting in the fall to get his diesel technology certification. Because, and the reason why I say that is because if you got a CDL, right, you are valuable if you can drive and fix the truck. How valuable are you? If you can drive it, move it when it's finished getting repaired, because a lot of the technicians can't move it. They have to have somebody with a CDL to be able to move it. So why not? It's a no-brainer to go get your diesel technician certification to be able to repair and fix the truck. And if you go back and watch, I can't remember, Sarah might have to tell me what episode that was, but episode oh God, I want to say 37. But I had mark episode, I don't know, she gonna have to tell 32, 42. I don't know. She's trying to tell me, but whatever episode it was, but I had Marshall Kaplan. He was the director of Select Technical Institute. I had him on the show a couple weeks ago. If you didn't check it out, make sure you go back episode 29. Okay. She just told me it was episode 29. Go back. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. She said episode 29. Go back and check it out because that episode, he talked about a shortage of diesel technicians in the United States. And I just showed you a self-driving semi truck in the oil field hauling frac sand. And if it's self-driving, right, they need someone to unload the sand, hook up all those hoses and things that they do and unload that sand. But they also need somebody to fix that truck when it breaks down. They also need somebody to do routine maintenance on that truck. They also need somebody to do the pre-trip and the post-trip on those trucks. Like, elevate your skills and go learn this technology. And I'm about to share, and Sarah don't know this, but I'm about to share in Houston, Texas, at San Jacinto College, they have a certificate of technology. And it's a certificate of technology that helps you learn how learn information and get the foundation on autonomous vehicles. It's a certificate. Okay. And certificates typically don't take you a long time to get. I'm going to see if I can share. Hold on. Okay. So this is 39 credits. So that's a whole year. 39 credits and a whole year. And let me share my screen because I want to be, and I'm going to share the TikTok because I want y'all to see this. All right. So this is the auto tech, autonomous vehicle certificate of technology. And I'm going to share my screen here for you guys as well. Okay. So the program information. And look, they talk about it. With automotive technology rapidly developing each year and becoming increasingly complex, the industry demand for qualified fleet technicians is growing exponentially. And at San Jac, students receive real world experience with hands on training and education to excel and become successful in the autonomous automotive field. Because we're seeing all these autonomous vehicles, um, they have in-class demonstration combined with practice lab skill sets. And then they have an earn while you learn program. An earn while you learn. And so there's career opportunities. The career opportunities include autonomous fleet junior technicians, service technicians, service advisors, service managers, parts and counter people, and car salespeople. And this is the San Jac. Now, here's the earning potential for a autonomous vehicle technician, someone that repairs. It's 37,000, average $440. Now, let's take that. Let's take that $37,443 worth of knowledge and pair that with your CDL. What do you then become? You then become valuable to somebody's company because you're the expert in driving it, understanding it, navigating it, and you can also fix it and know about that technology that's in it, that's inside of that truck. I want you to think outside of the box that they don't put you in all your life. Think outside of that box because we're not staying in that box. We are not staying in that box. Look at Sarah shaking her head. I'm Sarah saying, I know that's right. So when we come back, y'all, I'm going to share a truck driving job. It's a traditional truck driving job, but it's not your norm. As you are going to see on this show, my jobs are going to be more advanced. They're going to be more specialized. They're going to be more complex because I don't need you to just be hauling no general freight. Okay? Because if Ross dry up, if Kohl's dry up, if any of these little box retailers dry up, then what you gonna be hauling? I need you to tap in. Of course, you right reefer. We always need to eat, but I need you to tap into some of these opportunities where you're valuable. Everybody can move general freight. Anybody can move general freight. But you need to learn flatbed. You need to learn tanker. You need to learn hazmat. You need to learn oversized, overdimensional. When we come back, I'm going to talk about an oversized, overdimensional load that I want you to uh, reach out and get more information on. We'll be right back.
When it comes to autonomous trucks entering the trucking and transportation industry, up until now, you've only heard bits and pieces, news here, news there. There's been no centralized place for you to learn about autonomous trucks. Join me every Wednesday and Thursday and Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time as I share information, news, and education on how you can stay prepared for autonomous trucks and autonomy entering the trucking and transportation industry.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, look, if you're here, if you're new here, let me know in the comments that you're new. If you've never watched the show, if you just happen to find me, I'm so glad that you're here. I want to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you follow me across all of my platforms. I'm very heavy with information and jobs on TikTok, on Facebook, on here, right here on YouTube as well. Make sure that you are tapped in with me. Now, I'm going to uh, talk about a position that I'm excited about. We just met with this customer yesterday, and they are excited to fill this position. Now, right now, we only have a handful. And look, they are very, very particular about who they bring in. And here's the reason why. When you're dealing with oversized, overdimensional, overweight, safety is the number one thing. Safety is the number one thing because you can kill someone by not strapping down that equipment properly. You can damage a lot of things by not taking your time and focusing on the task at hand. So if you be distracted and do all of those things on, and you focus on your phone more than you focused on the road or more than you focused on your load, this ain't the position for you. But if you have 2 years of experience already in oversized, overweight, overdimensional, pulling at least 108 feet in length, you already know the game. You already know what it is. So I want to share this position, and um, in its position, I'm looking for drivers with, again, 2 years of already having some oversized, overweight, overdimensional experience, pulling at least 108 feet in length. You need 2 years experience. You can live in Texas. You can live in New York. You can live in Indiana. And the best part about this position is that it pays by the hour. And here's what I want you to think about. If you're a cents per mile person, right? If you're a cents per mile person, um, I want you to think, I want you to listen right now. Listen, because in cents per mile, you're not getting paid. And I know the secretary yesterday talked about getting truck drivers the the compensation that they deserve, getting paid for all the time that they are working. Which right now you're not getting paid for all the time that you're working, right? This job pays you for all the time you're working. It compensates you for all the time that you're working. And I'm going to share a quick video And this is a video I recorded yesterday. If you're on my TikTok, it's going to be dropped on TikTok today. So it might already be there. So give me 1 second. Let me pull this up because I want to share this video for you. Here you go.
$30.84 an hour. $30.84 an hour plus overtime. I'm looking for Class A CDL drivers with at least 2 years of experience. That experience has to be oversized, overdimensional, and overweight. You have to have been pulling at least 108 feet in length for your load. I already told you about the pay, so you know how good that is. You need to be willing to be out at least 3 to 4 weeks at a time. You get home for 7 full days, but you're out 3 to 4 weeks at a time. If you qualify, if you meet the experience requirements, if you have oversized, overdimensional, overweight, and have pulled 108 feet length in a load, over 2 years of experience, hit me up.
All right, hit me up. Yes, because I am going to continue to share these types of jobs because these are the jobs that I need you to and the experience that I need you to get into. If maybe you don't qualify for this position, maybe this one isn't for you, but you have a year, and maybe you can find a company that is going to give you that extra year, right? But I need you to get this type of specialized, that's what I call it, specialized experience, because that is going to be what sets you apart from the general freight folks. Okay? That is going, and I'm not telling you anything that I have not told my son. All right? That is going to set you apart from the general freight folks. And it's nothing to move some general freight with a self-driving truck. All right. So this position, it is over the road. You are hauling oversized and overweight rail yard cars. Rail cars. They are the cars where for the trains where they move people and where they move goods. So just think about the rail yards across the United States, right? Think about the people moving rail cars across the United States. They're plentiful, which means that you got plenty of work, which means that you will make plenty of money in a position like this. And so they're only looking for individuals that are serious and individuals that have a safety first mindset and individuals that are willing to be out at least 3 to 4 weeks at a time. This position requires that you are out 3 to 4 weeks at a time. 7 days home. Okay, after each trip cycle, you're going to get 7 days home. But let me get into the pay because the pay is probably the best thing about this position. Because as I told you, as a CPM, a cents per mile earner, you're not typically getting paid for the time that you're fueling or the time that you're waiting or anything like that. You're not getting paid for that time. But let me tell you how you get paid for that time being a specialized driver. So the hourly rate is $30.80. Y'all get your calculator. Get your calculator. I'm gonna pull my calculator up too. The hourly rate is $30.84 uh, an hour. Okay, $30.84 an hour. Now you are guaranteed. Okay, I love that word guaranteed because that means that I can pay my light bill by that guaranteed pay. I can pay my rent on the first because it don't stop. I can pay it every first by that guaranteed pay. You're guaranteed 10 hours a day. Like you wake up in the morning, you got that load. I don't care if you drive 5 miles an hour because sometimes oversized, overweight. You're gonna go slow. You're gonna go through towns. You're gonna do all of that. You're guaranteed 10 hours. 10 hours guaranteed pay. Okay. And then let I was doing the math. Somebody do the math. $30.84. I got too excited. Times 10. That's $308.40 for the day. That's $308.40 for the day. Okay. And I'm talking about an oversized, overdimensional. And if you're not in oversized, overdimensional, overweight loads right now, this is how that pay is. This is what the average is and how these companies pay on oversized. And you've been sleeping because nobody told you about this. And I'm here to tell you. Thank you. Y'all better say thank you. So I'm here to tell you how much you're getting paid. So now overtime, let's talk about overtime because you get overtime after 60 hours. After 60 hours in that week, you get overtime. All right. And so 60 hours times your $30.84. Let's do the math on that. 60 times $30.84. We're at $1,850.40 base pay before overtime. $1,800, $1,850.40. $1,850.40 can a week, not every 2 weeks, a week can pay my light bill, can pay my phone bill, can pay for my kids that need to eat, all of those things. Now, let's take your overtime. Let's say you just get 10 hours of overtime. So we're going to take it, and if you're not familiar with overtime, we're going to break that down for you. So we take the base pay, which is $30.84, and we divide that by 2. That's $15.42. So we take $30.84 plus $15.42. That's $46.26 of overtime. Your hourly rate in overtime after you hit that 60 is going to be, dang, I just lost it. $46.24, I think is what it is. We're going to multiply that by 10. That's another, if you get an extra 10 hours, say you work that full 7 days, right? You get an extra 10 hours of overtime. So you got your 60 at your base. That was $1,850. Then we got an extra 10 hours at overtime. That's $462.60 for that extra day. You made in one extra day, you made $462.60. So we're gonna add that to the 1850 time 1850 and 40 cents to be exact, because we need that 40 cents. That 40 cents add up. That is a total of $2,775.60 if you work the 7 days. Maybe you don't work the 7 days. But if you do, you making some bread. Okay? So I'm glad you're here because this job is, look, I'm so glad you're here because if you can't do it, I need you to go share it with your friends and tell your friends about it. And the link or the text OTR to 832-572-5277 if this is the position for you. Again, you got to be safety minded because I don't want to be driving next to you and your straps pop off. Okay? I don't need to be driving next to you and your straps pop off and your whole load get on the freeway. You got to be safety minded. You got to put that phone down. You got to be focused. Can't have no distractions. You got to be serious. Now, they also have a retention bonus, right? Because they want you to come over there and they want you to stay. And I want you to stay, right? Because I want you to get this good money that a lot of specialized or non-specialized people don't even know about. I need you to know about it. So they have a retention bonus. It's $2,500, but the way they break it down is they give you $1,250 after being there for 30 days, and then they give you another $1,250 after being there for 6 months. And most companies break their retention bonus down. They don't pay it out all at one time because some drivers will dip, and so this company's breaking down. But why would you leave $30.84 an hour if you are driving 10 miles an hour through a small one red light town? You still getting paid. You don't get paid when you sit in traffic. You don't get paid bumper to bumper traffic, getting cents per mile. That's why I love hourly pay. Anytime I have an hourly pay job, I'm coming straight to y'all and letting y'all know because I'm getting paid for all the time that I'm out here working. And that's what you want. That's exactly what you want. They also do cover a couple of hotels. So they do cover 2 overnight hotels, typically while you're waiting in Laredo, Texas. That's where you're gonna be picking up some of the rail cars. They'll cover the 2 hotel nights while you're waiting. While you waiting, you still getting paid that 10 hours a 10 out guaranteed 10 hours a day. But they don't provide a hotel while you're under the load. So if you are under the load, they won't provide the hotel because they want you with that load at all times because it's rail cars. You don't want nobody to steal your rail cars. But again, this position is oversized for drivers in Texas, Indiana, and New York. Looking to have experience of 2 years. You have to have 2 years hauling oversized, overweight, overdimensional, pulling at least 108 feet in length. Now, if you meet the requirements and if you ready to tap in and make between 1850 to 2775 and secure your future, okay? Secure your future because nothing can take your position if you're doing oversized and overweight and overdimensional. Robots can't do that. Okay. Secure your future. Go ahead and text me. My number is 832-572-5277. And Sarah, I want you to also um put my direct line. So that's the team number. That number that's right here, that's the team number. The girls are standing by and they can help you with that position. But if you want to talk to me about that position, I just dropped my number in the chat over here. Sarah, I need you to drop it over in TikTok so they'll have my number. Y'all save it, lock it in, because you never know when what I might have that you might like. You don't want to talk to the girls, you want to talk to Miss Jerri, text me because I might not answer right away because I might be doing a million things. But just, if you text me, I promise to get back to you. Thank you, Sarah, for dropping it over at TikTok. Look, y'all, I have really been talking about that job. Let me say hello to Sophia. Good morning, Sophia, all the way from Jamaica. Hi, Sophia. How you doing, love? Look, she in Jamaica, living her best life over there. We gonna come over there, Sophia, and we just gonna come visit and say hi. All right, y'all. When I want to talk about just a couple things. I want to wrap up the show with the learning lane, and I want to share just a few tips because I think well the tips and things that I share on the learning lane, they're for you to take and put in your toolbox. Put in your toolbox and pull them out later. You might not need them now. You might need them later, but pull them out when the time is right. And so the tips that I'm going to share today are the benefits of being able to communicate, right? Being able to be a good communicator. Um, because these things can help you not just in life, but in your career. In being a good communicator can be the difference in you making 30,000 or you making 100,000 on a job. I'm going for all of it. Y'all see how I communicate. I'm going for every last dime that they want to give me. And so, as a truck driver, when you think about it from a truck driver perspective, being able to communicate with your dispatchers, being able to communicate with your other drivers, it can prevent misunderstandings. It can prevent and make sure that you have all the necessary information, excuse me, for your route, for your load, to make sure everything is smooth, to make sure it's less stress through that entire operation. Especially if you working on that oversized, overdimensional, and overweight load, because you're dealing with the pilot operators, because you have somebody in front of you, maybe somebody behind you. You're dealing with the dispatcher who wants to know and needs to keep track of the securement of that load. So being a good communicator and giving clear instructions, that just helps you do better at your job so you're not frustrated. And then it builds relationships. Being a good communicator is going to help you from a standpoint of relationship building, because you never know when that person that you have built a strong relationship with or been doing good communication with, whether it's a coworker, a dispatcher, a boss, or somebody like that, you never know when that person is going to help you in life, in a promotion, in a raise, all of that. That good communication skills is going to set you apart from everybody else. Okay. And so that's so important. And then the last thing, the last tip that I want to share about communication is allowing it to help minimize delays and minimize errors. Because when you ask questions, when you get clarity, when you confirm details, because that's what good communication is, asking those questions. Okay, so let me make sure I understand what you're saying. Okay, so let me make sure I got this. Just repeat what they said to make sure you got it. And that helps to lead to fewer complications. It helps to lead to a better, smoother operation. Get that load, get it delivered on time, get it delivered safely so that there's no misunderstandings. That's what good communication skills can do for you. And so it ultimately will enhance your level of professionalism, and it will ultimately, in the long run, enhance your relationships with people, and it'll enhance your bottom line. I know I'm not telling y'all nothing that hasn't worked for me. I won't tell you anything that has not worked for me. Having good communication skills sets you apart from those that don't. Okay. Now, I hope this information was helpful. If you missed the show, make sure you go back and watch the replay, because we talked about self-driving trucks in the oil field hauling sand, frac sand, a new company doing that. We talked about a traditional truck driving job. We talked about, I didn't get to talk to y'all about Waymo and they new release. I'll talk about that tomorrow. Waymo is the Google company. Google owns Waymo, and they doing some new things in San Francisco. So I need y'all to know about that, because it's coming to Austin, Texas. It's coming to Georgia. It's coming everywhere. So I'll talk about that tomorrow. Y'all come back tomorrow, 10 o'clock, same time, same place. I will make sure that I am continuously dropping gems, dropping information, dropping knowledge, places where you can go learn and elevate your skills. We also talked about an autonomous certification that you can go get and pair it with your CDL to level up. Because look, this is 2024. We're going into 2025, and we're changing things. We're changing everything, because we're not about to get left behind. I know my boy's not about to be left behind. Y'all better stick with me. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. I am Miss Jerri, owner of Life on the Road Recruiting and Transportation Services. We are a full service third party truck driver recruitment agency. We recruit drivers. That's what we do. But we also educate drivers. We also help them with their level up and their next level in this future of trucking and transportation that we're moving into. Thank y'all for being here. Bye.